And we should now be live for a brand new episode of The Comic Den, where we're going to be taking The Comic Den. I don't know where we're going all spooky like that, but we're live to talk about our favorite 10 Doctor Doom stories, going back to more of a topical episode, but talk about somebody who was arguably the best Marvel villain of all time. So let's delve into it. Let's get into it.
Welcome to the Dingus Den.
All right, welcome in everybody. We got Matthew in right off the bat. We got Steve number 2, aka Steve. Welcome in. We got a bunch of Steves in the house. What's up? Your dingus taking. Thank you. I will take that as a compliment, good sir. Thank you so much. Oh man. But anyway, great to see everybody here. Hope everybody's having a good day. Exciting episode. We both did. Well, I at least did a bit of research on today's episode since.
Well, I did some research. I just didn't do all the reading. I did some of the reading.
Some of the reading.
All will kneel before doom.
Kneel before doom. Yes. Oh man, yes. But yeah, we're gonna be talking about 10 favorite Doctor Doom stories, just ones that stood out to us when we were like, oh, what's kind of top 10 Doctor Doom stories, and so we'll dive into that in a bit later, as per usual. But first, let's just begin, with what stuff have we been reading?
Well,
yeah.
It was a rough day for a rough week for reading. I read. Actually, I think that was last week. Last week we did our Fantastic Four episode.
Mm-hmm.
So I read that, obviously. It's been a bad week for comic book reading. I'm telling you. Remember last week what I said? I still hadn't read last week's polls.
Yeah, I'm going to guess you haven't
read last week's polls.
Well, I just went to the comic store today. I don't have them. Oh, wait, yeah, I do. I just picked up the last 2 weeks worth of polls today. I'm going out on Thursday, flying out on Thursday for a particular little something.
Heck yeah.
And I obviously wouldn't have time to necessarily read all my stuff. Plus, the day before you're flying out, I'm going to be busy with a bunch of other things, So
yeah.
I
still haven't read the week before's polls.
Look at that awesome.
Because I got any reading that I did, I kind of got deep into certain comics pertaining to tonight's subject. So yeah, that's pretty much all I did for reading this week. I read a bunch of Doctor Doom related.
Yeah, there's 2 big Doom stories I read for my first time, which we'll be covering. But then I've done a bunch of other reading, and I say that, and I'm trying to remember all of what I read. And part of the problem is because I read so much. You ever get that where it's like you go on a binge and you're trying to remember?
I read very little.
Yeah, so let me see here. Just to quickly go through stuff I've read. I've read through a miniseries called Frankenstein New World, which is part of Hellboy, and other than like one part, I have no idea how it's connected to Hellboy. And then I also read, oh my gosh, I read some Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I read, there was something else big I read. I'm trying to remember what the heck I read. Oh my gosh, what did I read? It's a problem where I read so much and I've actually forgotten what I've read already because I just all clumped together. Oh, what did I get or read? I know I read some other stuff somewhere.
Spawn?
I did not. It's gonna come back to me later when it doesn't matter. But I swear I've read other stuff. I just can't remember what right off the top of my head. But I did have a productive week of reading, despite what I'm saying of not being able to remember anything. Welcome in, Nicole. Great to see you here. How are you doing? We're tonight we're about to get doomed. I picked up this. I haven't read this yet. This is my next read, but I picked up this Godzilla comic, which is
Okay.
the first issue of this brand new Godzilla universe that I was curious on. And so when I went to the comic store today, this was the only issue they had left of it. So I was like, okay, I'm just curious in this universe, and since it's the only one, I was like, I should probably get it. So they got an extra $5 out of me because I think that's how much this one was. Yeah. So, but yes, yeah. Alrighty. I know I've read other stuff, and it's bothering me that I don't know what other stuff I read. I swear I've read other stuff.
There were some other things that I started, I just didn't get finished. For instance, I started Doom War.
Okay.
And I didn't get as far as I thought I did. I swore I read more than I did, but apparently not. But then I also started, I don't remember if this one was on your list or not, or was on our list for today, but I started Triumph and Torment.
Oh, that is absolutely something we're talking about later. Wink,
Okay,
wink.
you're going to have to take the lead because I only made it a few pages in, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know about this.
Interesting. Well, we'll get to that here very shortly. But yeah, let's though delve into exactly what is coming out this week. This is a very light week.
Not as light as last week.
Well, I think it was equally. I think last week there's actually more for me. This week I only have one.
See, mine last week was only one.
See, we're swapped then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And I haven't even gotten around to buying that one. I haven't even been to the comic book shop to go get it.
Oh. All right, let's delve into what's here. Actually, so everybody can see it. There we go. And then you need to see it here. But all right. This is the one that's on my list, and it's also on your list. Absolute Superman issue 10, which that has been a very good series so far. I've really been enjoying this take on Superman and the Absolute Universe stuff in general. And
yeah, definitely.
Like really the only announcement as far as a new series that we got from DC at San Diego Comic-Con was that they're actually coming out with an Absolute Green Arrow series next year, so that'll be cool. So, but yeah. This is my one thing. But then you got some other stuff. It's just Batgirl.
Batgirl, yeah.
So this is something I might catch up on with whatever's on DC Universe Infinite, because literally just before we went live, I actually just upgraded my DC subscription to the year of the Universe Infinite, so I get everything now a month after. So
yeah, this is a good run. It's Tate Brombell writing it, and it's basically about these ancient assassins that are out to kill Cassandra Cain. So
that's very cool.
It's very yeah, I like it. Liking this run.
Heck yeah. Excellent. I'm just sharing this out to my places. So I didn't do that earlier because I'm absolutely terrible. All right. Yeah. Excellent. And then the last thing for you that also very much fits into what we have going on. Our Secret Wars. I didn't even realize that was the name of this arc. Our Secret Wars. Wow. But anyway.
Issue 2 of the Chip Zdarsky run of Captain America.
Fantastic. Love
there
to see
are
it.
some pretty cool variant covers for this one.
Oh, I didn't.
There is one in particular that is done by J. Scott Campbell,
Let me look here.
and it's pretty sweet.
That is also not.
I like it.
Is it not?
Yeah, there's
Here. Let me see if I can pull up. You said the one.
it's that one right in the middle. I
One.
like that cover.
Yeah, let's pull that up so everybody can see it there. There we go.
And then Chip Zdarsky himself did a variant cover. That's the one in the middle right there. That was pretty cool
really
too.
like this one.
Yeah, I like that one too.
Why is it open? It so tight. I don't know.
That's very odd.
I know. Use your. Don't mind me. I didn't click an extra button. Now there we go. Okay. I really like that one actually. That's probably the cover I'd get. I mean that one or the standard cover are pretty nice, but I do
I'm
like
probably gonna get the Campbell cover.
That's my favorite. Seen this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I like seeing Doom choke Captain America. Maybe that's just a terrible thing to say that I should never say, but I like saying that. So, but yeah, awesome stuff. But yeah, definitely a lighter week there. Like even though I feel like 3's not too much, I think just a friendly reminder: next week we are having no show, as we will both be out of town at the time.
We will both be in the Dallas area.
That is correct, indeed.
Rebel ScumCon.
Heck yes, that is going to be fantastic. Very much looking forward and excited for that. I actually just started packing stuff for that trip today. I'm looking to see how big of a week of comics I have.
Hey there, Smirking Bear. How's it going?
What's up, Bear? Sup, Bear? Great to see you here. So the week we're skipping, I actually have 4 pulls. I was just looking at what I had. I was curious of how big of a week that was for me. So.
Yeah, I haven't started packing for mine, but I mean, it's only a 3-hour drive for me, so
that's not bad for you. For me, it's see, it's like a 3-hour drive. See, I would say for me it's a 3-hour flight, but I don't even think it's that long of a flight. But still,
yeah. Well, it's going to be me and JD, the other co-host from Rebel Nerd Radio. So we will be doing all kinds of shenanigans down there in Dallas.
Excellent. Be very exciting. Yep. All right. But yeah, that's all the stuff from that is coming out this week.
Yeah.
Very quick for us to get to our main topic. I feel like we've never reached this main topic.
Well, we usually have more comic books to talk about that have come out or are about to come out. We don't usually have like these really slim weeks of pull lists.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Like I said, next time will be beefier, at least for my list. So
yeah,
spending more time being able to talk about those. But you know what? Quicker to the main topic. But before we get to that, you know what everybody should do? Everybody that's here, smash that like button. If you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button. It helps out the channel. And share it around so people can, see more of this comic goodness. More people need comic stuff in their lives. And so,
Nope, you're right, Bear. We are Dr. Doom shills.
Shills. Just shill out the Doom shills.
I would say that he is probably my second favorite Marvel villain.
I think he's so close.
And I only say second favorite because I could say favorite because the one that I think is my favorite, it always goes back and forth. Is he a villain or is he good?
Is that Magneto?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But if we're talking pure villain, and you know what, with Doom, you can't even say pure villain because there's been times when he went good too. Ish.
But then the end, he always beats a villain. I feel
yeah,
like
he's kind of your
Magneto definitely walks the line a lot more. It's kind of hard. It kind of depends on the era of X-Men you're talking about. That's the problem of like, if you're talking about one era of X-Men, it's like, okay, yeah, he's evil. Talk about something like the more recent eras, it's like he's not a villain at all. So, also, everybody be like Nicole, smash that like button. Nicole knows what's up.
yeah.
But yes. Couple things I did want to share while I'm thinking about it as well, just general channel stuff. I did a live stream on Thursday talking about Fantastic Four First Steps. So for anybody that wants to check out that in depth, where we talked for nearly 2 hours about Fantastic Four.
Holy
also,
cow! You have that much to say about the movie?
Well, we also went off rails a little bit as well during certain parts, but there was legitimately a lot more about the movie that I thought would actually get into. I'll just say it's more of the guest than me with a bunch of that stuff.
Gotcha.
But that was a really good stream though. So be sure to go check that out. A big Fantastic Four stream. But then tomorrow, on Dingiston Twitch, some of you, I know I haven't really promoted this as well, but I want everybody to check out where D&D session that I'm streaming, which is part of a campaign that I'm running called the Trail of Conspiracy, and in that stream, there's actually going to be a big announcement that we're planning on making, something special, exciting. I don't know if Blue's told you about this. I know I meant to tell you about this. Blue might have said something to you about this. Remind me after the stream, and I'll tell you about it. But tune into the Dingiston Twitch tomorrow for a special announcement, and then once it's out there, probably on Tuesday or whatever, I'll share it around everywhere. But we have something special that we're really looking forward to. So if you're a tabletop nerd, you will definitely be interested, and I want anybody that is even remotely interested in D&D stuff to come check it out, since we have something big to share, and it'll be a fun time, as it's part of my special D&D adventure that I'm running. That's been it's been a lot of fun, but it's also been a very bumpy ride. So, but besides the point, we're here for comics though. So let's get into these Doctor Doom stories.
Dr. Doom.
For Doom has arrived. So for these 10 Doctor Doom stories, I had the idea that what we should do is, instead of giving a top 10 in some certain order, we will give 10 stories, but in the order of release date of the 10 stories that we picked out. Because funny enough, whenever we do these things, usually it's both me and you pick 5 stories. Funny enough, when we did each of our lists, we only had one story in common between the two, which I thought was kind of, interesting. So I was like, well, we should just combine it and make like an ultimate top 10 list.
Yeah.
I write all but one story on your list at the time. I've gone back and read it. And then I was like, well, we just have to figure out one other story to put on this list. And so, and then I kind of made an executive decision on what story to put there. So
there you go.
So there we go. There was a runner-up story, but I was like, the one that I put in there was definitely more of a notable story. So that's the one I went with. So I'm not saying these are the absolute 10 best Doctor Doom stories. There's a lot of great other Doctor Doom stories that is definitely there. Some of which, you know what? Well, let's just go ahead and get into it, because some of these are kind of what do you want to say, mixed up, or I've read so much Doom stuff together at one point. Some of the story arcs that people list on like top 10 Doom stories, I kind of like don't remember specifics of, because and this is something I wanted to show. I read so much of this together at one point, which is Doctor Doom, the Book of Doom. And if you want to know what's included in this, it is all of these issues.
Good Lord.
Yes. And this is something very special. And this includes a fair handful of the issues that we're actually going to be talking about. And so this is something very cool. And I do actually have it signed by one of the people that worked on one of these stories as well that we're about to be talking about. So, but before we... so, you know what? Yeah, let's just get into this. Let's talk about all these.
Do it.
So first Doctor Doom story, where better to talk about Doctor Doom than Doctor Doom's first ever appearance?
Right at the beginning. Heck yeah.
Right at the beginning. Where else than the very first issue of Fantastic Four?
Yeah.
Or not very first issue. Very first issue he appeared in but it's Fantastic Four issue 5, where they meet. As you can see, it says meet Doctor Doom there.
Yeah.
The very first issue, and this is included. This is the very first issue in this trade. Is of his appearance there, which is really cool.
As it should be.
As it should be, indeed. So, yeah, this includes a lot. But yes, that is absolutely I mean, it's just like
So
it's definitely
yeah,
iconic. That's the thing, you know.
it is iconic. So it's funny. You got this story. Basically, he kidnaps Sue and forces the rest of them to go back in time and steal a treasure chest.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because that's where the pad thing came from,
Uh-huh.
which is been a constant Doom thing.
Yeah, he wants them to steal from Blackbeard.
I forgot that was the story of this original issue. It's so
Yeah.
funny. Did you go back and reread it?
Yeah, I did go back and reread it.
That was fitting. I had a couple things I was wanting to reread, but I didn't get around to it. I only just went through the majority of Doom War today, to be fair. So,
Okay.
you know.
So yeah, I reread this, and I reread another. Well, I reread a few on our list.
Okay.
But to be fair, I skimmed through a lot of them because I'm like, yeah, I've read these so many times that
See, I should have done that with some of them, but I
I don't
didn't.
need to reread. Yeah. Like there's
Yeah.
one that's on the list that I know that you were reading, and I like really skimmed it. Like I was like, yeah, I've read this enough times. I don't need.
Yeah. Yeah, I've only read through two of the stories, and we'll get to them. But that's because they were new to me. Everything is like, yeah, I've read it before, and since it's just more generally like, these are great Doom stories that I think everybody should check out. You know, we weren't spending too much time to talk about the specifics of it. It's like, hey, here's number one. You know, don't need to necessarily talk about, you know, too much with it.
Yeah.
So, but yes, yeah. And also just like it's classic Fantastic Four, which I think these, as far as older comics go, I feel like the original Fantastic Four holds up very well. So I definitely think it's something that's absolutely worth the read. If however you could check it out. I don't know how available like this story is to buy physically, but the great thing I love about Marvel Unlimited is that it makes accessing all these big older Marvel issues so easy. And that was the original reason. Actually, part of the original reason I got Marvel Unlimited was to check out old Fantastic Four stuff, including this issue, as well as the first appearance of, technically the first appearance of Kang, where he technically wasn't Kang at that point.
Right.
So, but that was the main reasons why I actually got Marvel Unlimited. Is I was like, there wasn't an easy way for me to buy that stuff physically, so.
This one originally came out in 1962.
Yeah.
So it's an old one, and that's how long Doom has been around.
1962. How old does that put him next year for Doomsday? That's math. Something.
That's math, man. Why are you doing that?
64 years? Wait.
Hold on.
Yeah. That's right. 64 years.
Yeah.
So Doom is 63 as of this year, depending on the month. Oh, it says July. So yes, Doom is 63 just recently. So happy 63rd birthday, Doom. Or belated 63rd.
Dr. Doom.
Alrighty. Well, let's go to one of mine that I thought.
What's next in the chronology?
Chronologically, it's actually a crossover that features Doctor Doom.
Okay.
And this is one I actually I read for my first time a bit earlier in this year.
Oh.
That is Spider-Man and Doctor Doom. This is
I have not read this one.
This is the second ever Marvel and DC crossover, where the first one involves Superman and Spider-Man together. fighting against Lex Luthor and Dr. Octopus. And then this is the sequel that came out a few years later, and it involves Doctor Doom and Parasite. And what's really cool about this one, it's included in this big thing that I know I've shown this off before, but and right at the top here too, it's written by Jim Shooter, and you can see his autograph right up there from when I got to beat him the second time. And he wrote this story. Where, fun fact, he actually created the character of Parasite. So it was cool to see him get to play with the character of Parasite again, as well as writing Doom. And I enjoyed this story just as much, if not more, than the first one. Like I found almost all the crossovers really enjoyable. There's only like one or two I was like on, but this one I personally really enjoyed. It was a really fun team up between the two. But obviously, we're talking about Doctor Doom, right? If it wasn't for Doctor Doom in this, being a really good character, I wouldn't even be having this character or this story in, right? Well, part of the reason I chose this too is I wanted to have a couple picks of things that I knew probably wouldn't be on your list, because I was like, this would be, mix it up a little bit for a top.
It certainly was not. I don't. Yeah, I've never read this.
And so, without going too much into it, you essentially see Doctor Doom. He sets up like a base in New York City. I think it's New York City, and he's there. Right, that's right, because I think in the first one it involves Spider-Man going to Metropolis. So this time it's in New York City, and then Superman visits because you essentially see Doctor Doom using Parasite, and so. Even though it's Doctor Doom and Parasite, quote unquote, teaming up, it's more of Doctor Doom as being the ultimate power player, as Doctor Doom is.
I mean, it's Doctor Doom. Why would
yeah. So it highlights Doctor Doom at his core in this crossover, and it was a very enjoyable crossover too. Like I said, I really enjoyed it, and it's always a blast. Like, not many official stories where you get to see Superman and Spider-Man together, let alone Doctor Doom be in the mix. So
yeah.
So it's if you can read it. I think the only way you can read it officially nowadays is if you were to buy this, and good luck buying this, because well, I know the second one is very pricey to buy. This one you might be able to buy in some.
Is it not on Marvel Unlimited?
It is not. I think these stories you can only buy in the omnibuses for now, because I mean, maybe they'll figure out a digital distribution for it later on, but because it's Marvel and DC, I don't think there's any digital way right now, unless they figured out some sort of agreement to either put it on both their subscription services or something, or figured out a way to sell it and digitally and do that, So, like I said, a bunch of legal mumbo jumbo, there. But if you can possibly find a way to read this, I highly recommend it. But as far as I know, the official way is spending $100, if not more, on the omnibus. So, which I understand, not everybody has that money. So, but anyway, let's delve into next one. And this was actually originally on yours, and I say this one would have been an honorable mention for mine, and that is Secret Wars, the original Secret.
The original Secret Wars. So, this is one I skimmed because I was looking for the Doctor Doom stuff.
And that's the thing, though. That's like his big moments in this are the last 3 issues of it.
Yeah.
Not saying he's not in the first other 9, but like the last 3 issues are when he really shines.
Yeah.
And it's because of that is why those last 3 issues are collected in that Doctor Doom omnibus I showed, but in none of the others, because it's like, this is an omnibus about showing Doom.
Yeah.
And those issues really do highlight Doom's character in a big way, which is important.
Yeah, this was a really I think iconic Marvel crossover from back in the 80s. It was 85, I think.
Well, yeah. I mean, just to put into perspective, this came out in 1984, and this was the first ever superhero crossover to this scale ever. Yeah. Maybe then one hero or one team crossing over somebody else. Here we're seeing all the big Marvel heroes from different teams and whatever come together for the first ever time, all to sell toys. It's an interesting backstory if you look into it.
I read this series like right about the time it wasn't like right when it came out. It was sometime after, because the series had ended by the time I read it. But yeah, this is if you haven't read this, what are you doing with your life? No, you really need to go out and read this. It's really good. But in regards to Doom, if you have not read this, you are not going to understand the reference of stealing the Beyonder's powers. And the Beyonder was like this omnipotent.
See, this is the first appearance of Beyonder, no?
Yes. Yeah, this omnipotent, all-powerful freaking, I mean, basically a god, really. And, what powers did he not have? But yeah, in this, I can't remember what issue it was. It was toward the end, where he, like you said, the first or the last 3 issues, right, where he steals the Beyonder's powers. And it's like, holy shit, Doom with the Beyonder. Yeah. That's bad. Nothing good can come from this.
Yeah. I think that was easily the strongest part of this, was all the Doom stuff within the story. For me, was easily the strongest part of this whole story. And, despite having all these other characters here and there, seeing Doom in the story and what he does was really cool. Really good. I really liked it. Good stuff. Yeah. It's just such an iconic story as well, especially with Secret Wars coming out. They say that they're taking elements from both Secret Wars iterations into the new Secret Wars, so we'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
My best guess would be, since you brought up the Beyonder and all that stuff, that is going to be the main thing that they might take from from this Secret Wars into the new one. So, well, we'll see. It'll be interesting. Interesting for sure. So, anything else about this one?
No, if you haven't read it, go read it. I'm sure this is on Marvel Unlimited.
Oh yeah, I think all the others are. It's just because one of them being a crossover is not on there, but all the others is, including this one. Have you read this one, Emperor Doom?
Oh man, I want to say I did a long time ago, like maybe around the time it came out, maybe a little bit later. I did not reread this one for.
Yeah, this is one I should have refreshed my memory on exactly what happened, but this was one that's really awesome because you get to see Doom become this big emperor-like figure, and it's very much, kind of touches on similar ideas of what Secret Wars did, of, how Doom approaches stuff with all this big power that he gets, but then his ultimate downfall. I mean, I guess you could say that's a lot of Doom stories.
Yeah, the biggest thing I remember about this is that, the Avengers were in it, and at some point, Doom teamed up with Namor.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't remember a whole lot about it.
Yeah, there's a lot of great stuff in this issue. I should have reread through this one myself, but this one's a great one. I will say you will not be disappointed, because you do see a bunch of heroes going against each other, and then all realizing that, it's Doom behind everything, and it's Doom has this whole plan of where he becomes this big emperor, and it's all about the heroes trying to take him out in this story, and that's it's just a great story that really highlights the character of Doom. And what I also wanted to highlight about this too was the artist of this issue, Bob Hall, is somebody that actually does normally visit the cons, the big con near me, so he drew that cool little Dr. Doom mask on the inside of this, which is cool. So shout out to Bob Hall there.
So not so much Doom related, but one of the guys that co-wrote this was also a co-creator of several well-known characters such as Venom
Yep.
and Carnage and War Machine, and also the Scott Lang version of Ant-Man.
Interesting. I didn't know about that last one. So, but very cool. Yeah, lots of great memorable characters here that he has worked on, and this is one of his great stories too. I think this is a great Doom story.
He
So
had
it's
a
definitely-
pretty, if I remember right, he had a pretty long, well, maybe not long, but he had a pretty important run of Amazing Spider-Man.
very cool, awesome. So, when I was asked by a friend a couple of days ago, or a few days ago, what my favorite Doctor Doom story was.
Hmm.
And it took me a little bit of time because there's so many great Doctor Doom stories out there. You know, I easily gave you 5 stories, but I never really thought about too much of which of those 5 stories I would call my favorite.
Yeah.
And after thinking about it for a moment,
Well, the one that I told you was my favorite is now in second place because I did reread another one and I was like, I actually like this one better. But yeah, let's see what your favorite is.
and this is one that I wanted. I should have taken the time to reread it, but I didn't.
Okay.
But I think I remember enough of it, and that is Triumph and Torment,
Okay.
where this one involves Doctor Doom and Doctor Strange teaming up to go to Hell, where essentially Doom coerces Doctor Strange to help him to rescue the soul of his mother. Anybody that knows anything about Doctor Doom and his origin knows that Doctor Doom, there's this whole thing with Doctor Doom caring for his mother and trying to get his mother's lost soul that Mephisto has locked away in Hell. And so there's this whole like yearly thing where Doctor Doom tries to get his mother's soul from Mephisto.
Right.
It's something that happens in other stories, but this story highlights it best at its core and shows, you know, it's not one of those Doom stories where it's about Doom getting all this power and losing it,
Mhm.
but instead you explore a different side of Doom, of somebody who you can see he has this very personal motivation than just getting all this power and making the world his own.
Right.
And so it takes it, for me, I think it explores Doctor Doom on a very personal level. And I don't know, I think it's a very special Doctor Doom story. And that for me is why when I was looking at all this list of like, you know, don't get me wrong, I think all these stories that we're talking about are great Doctor Doom stories. Each and every single one of them is worth a read because of what Doctor Doom does in it.
I feel like it like started off really slow.
Yeah, I don't remember how it started off,
I just
but I remember when I read this. So the for context, in this big Doctor Doom omnibus, the Emperor Doom and this story are back to back in it, and these are like Marvel graphic novels. So they're thicker. They're like nearly 100 pages or something like that, 80 pages each, something like that. Point is, they're not your standard size like 20 issues. Like they're bigger stories, both of them. And I remember reading Emperor Doom. I was like, holy cow, this is a really good story. And then I remember going to read this, and I was like, holy crap, this is an even better story. I just remember, like I said, a lot of these Doctor Doom stories got mixed up for me because of how much I read back to back. Like, such as one that I was thinking about rereading to see if I'd want to make it on this list is one called Doom Quest, which is a big one involving Iron Man and Doctor Doom. I think it's like Iron Man issues 149 and 150. So, but yeah. But this one, in my opinion, this is probably my favorite Doctor Doom story. It really shows his character in a great way.
Oh yeah, I'll have to try it again. I don't know. I didn't make it very far into it.
It is worth one of those reads. Like if you're a big Doctor Doom fan, you have to at least read this one once. So, all right. Nicole says she doesn't think she has any Doctor Doom comics. We'll have to look. This is interesting to your guys' take on them. Thank you. Glad you find this interesting. And what is up, MSK? Saying comic books are for nerds. MSK is a big comic fan, so I would like to know, MSK, what is your personal favorite Doctor Doom story? What do you think is the best Doctor Doom story?
Yes. Everybody in the
I'm
chat
curious.
chime in.
Yeah, or even if it's not from the comics, for anybody that's watched maybe any of the cartoons or stuff. If there's any iteration of Doctor Doom from those you're a fan of as well. But yeah, this one for me. I think it's very much worth the read too. What I also really liked about the story too is, and I get this is probably a big disconnect for you because I remember we've talked about how you're not necessarily a big fan of magic stuff in general.
Well,
But
it's the cosmic stuff, really. I mean,
I thought it was more magic stuff because there's one story because I remember one time I started getting into reading Justice League Dark, and you're like, "This isn't for me."
no,
that's all
that was
magic-based.
not. That was not. I don't know. Maybe it's just a Doctor Doom thing. I just really like Doctor Doom, so I'd be okay with it if it has to do with Doctor Doom.
Yeah, give it another shot and let me know. We'll have to, and also look at that. It's also Mike Mignola doing the art, which is fantastic. Miss K says, "Didn't Doctor Doom's girlfriend sleep with Johnny Storm?" Hold on, is this a thing that happened?
It might have.
Interesting. Maybe. Yeah, that might have actually been a thing. Funny enough. Have to look into that. All right. Well, that was 5.
Zora. Yes, it was Doctor Doom's bride, Zora, slept with Johnny Storm the night before the wedding.
What issue was this? Do you have a citation for what issue that came from?
I'm looking for it.
I'm very curious now.
That is dang, Zora. That is that's messed up. Fantastic Four, Volume 6, number 33.
Volume 6 is who's run. Oh God.
Fuck if I know.
It's a great question. Fantastic Four, Volume 6. Oh, that's Dan Slotzer, huh? No, never mind. Oh no, it could be actually though. Hold on. No, that is Dan Slotzer. Volume 6 is Dan Slotzer. That's a run I should get into sometime.
That's some messed up stuff right there.
It's funny.
That ain't right.
MSK said he forgot the story. It might have been some modern day bullshit. Well, it is Dan Slotzer, so there's your answer there. Anyway, we're halfway through. That's number 5 that we just hit here. Triumphant Torment. Everybody has to read this.
We made it to number 5. All right.
So here is what was your number 1, which is why I made sure to read this story. Hold on. Before we go to that, Bear made an important comment here saying the real question is, who doesn't Johnny sleep with? You know what?
I would hope not Doctor Doom.
Hold on, I want to see this story now.
That would be a weird pairing.
You know what? I kind of want to see that happen now. How does that happen? Oh, man. Anyway.
Yeah, okay.
Steve number 2 says, I really like God Emperor Doom. I really like the OP characters. Yeah, OP characters bring a different... If you can write them well, they bring some really interesting stories. That's what I was trying to think of, that of a big thing I read that I knew I read and couldn't remember. I read all 10 issues of what's on Marvel Unlimited of Phoenix.
Okay. Wow, that was going back in time about 15, 20 minutes.
Not even. We're like 30 minutes ago. We're 35 minutes ago. But yeah. No, Steve reminded me there when he brought up OP characters. I'm like, oh, yeah. That's the story I read that I was trying to remember. Because I knew I read something else and it was bugging me. There it is. Anyway. See, I told you I'd remember when I didn't matter
You
anymore.
would remember. Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, thank you, Steve, for something that you helped me remember. Anyway,
There we go.
anyway, let's go on. What we're about to get to is number 6, and this is one of the stories I made sure to read for my first time, and is Doom by Chuck Dixon.
So this was my favorite before a recent reread. I just really like this one. I don't know why. It's just got Doom in a very strange element. He's like stranded on this alternate Earth, and he becomes a slave briefly. And it's basically about him trying to get back to the regular Earth. And but yeah, he becomes a slave. He starts this like slave riot rebellion type thing, and it's just, I don't know. Just read it. It's awesome.
It's interesting because there's definitely some interesting. What do you want to say?
I would say that
there's a little. Go on.
I would say I like the first half more than the second half.
Yeah, the first half had something very interesting. There's one part in it that I really liked. I was trying to pull it up here because I screenshotted a certain panel. I was wanting to read it off that I really liked. And even though it's definitely a weirder Doctor Doom story, it's definitely a unique Doctor Doom story, right? Yeah. And I could see why it would stand out to you in that regard. It also definitely shows him at his core, I think, as well. Well, you actually see Doctor Doom having challenges, but then also Doctor Doom's able to overcome these and, like, you're seeing Doom be a protagonist in a way of these.
Yeah.
I thought both of them really solid. I'd probably agree with you saying that the first one's a little better, but I thought they were both pretty good.
There's a scene in it that's got a really, if I'm remembering correctly, it has a really cool splash page where he kills a lion.
So there's this, maybe. I think maybe that's like at the very beginning. So in it, he faces the Atlands, and there's this quote, or in his narration, there's this part that I want to read off that I really liked, where it says the Atlands, 80% of the planet's surface is not enough for them, as it would not be enough for me. And that was one of the quotes that when I read it, I was like, oh, I really like that. So.
Yeah, I just Discorded you the panel that I'm referring to.
All right, let's see here. Oh yeah, that is the very beginning. You're right, where you see a naked Doom there. Yeah.
Yeah, naked Doom. Yeah, no, this is it's just it was just really interesting. It was not like your typical Doctor Doom story.
Yeah. I have to bring up Bear's comment here. He says, I'm sure somewhere out there in the multiverse, there's a bisexual Johnny Storm who slept with Doom, I bet, Steve.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
Oh, man, that's...
How many different universes are there? There's got to be one.
Right, exactly, Give us that story, Marvel. Oh, God. Nobody clip that.
No, you're not gonna live that one down. Begs for bisexual sexual encounter with Doom.
Oh God. Anyway, only on the Dingiston.
Exactly.
Anyway, oh man. Anyway, next story.
Oh,
yeah.
Did we? Okay, I don't think we did, but we might point out that this takes place after the Onslaught saga. Because the reason that Doctor Doom is on this alternate Earth is that Franklin Richards creates this like alternate universe,
right,
and throws him in it. Like, basically banishes him to this alternate universe.
Right. Yeah, I was trying to remember. Was it in Onslaught where that happened? Is that what?
I thought it was at the end of Onslaught, wasn't it?
I don't remember. It's been a long time since I've read Onslaught, so I don't remember. I wasn't sure if it's Onslaught or not because they didn't directly reference Onslaught specifically, but it did reference something, but I didn't delve deep into what it was. So
yeah, it was the pocket dimension was created by Franklin to save his parents and other heroes who were killed battling Onslaught.
that was a big story.
Yeah, that was a good story. One of these days we're gonna talk about that, but
we'll figure that out sometime.
that one's gonna be a while because that's a huge story to try to tackle.
Yeah, I should probably try to read Age of Apocalypse before that too. Oh my gosh, Bear says we need to clip that and send it to Disney.
Heck yeah.
Oh boy. Anyway, but yeah, I did enjoy this.
Okay.
While it was a weirder Doom story, it definitely highlighted Doom's character well, which I think was, at the end of the day, important. I think all of these highlight Doom's character in some important way, at the very least. So, and this is a very good one. So, I when I read it, I was like, I can understand why this would be high up for me.
Yeah, it's good.
All right. Next up, we have Doctor Doom, Books of Doom.
So, interestingly enough, following up on Doom by Chuck Dixon, this is now my favorite Doom story. I reread it just a couple days ago, and I was like, man, I really like this Brubaker.
Yeah, I do remember this one being really good.
I really like this one.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know if it's the definitive origin of Doctor Doom.
I would say modernly it probably is.
But it's probably the modern definitive edition.
I see it. Yeah. Yeah, like if there's like you just want to know the background of his character, this is the one to read. It is really good.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like it. Like a lot.
Yeah, it was a really good story for sure. Definitely worth checking out. Delving into the origin, and I mean there was a bunch of the older stories where we got it, but it's nice though because every now and then, you know, you can't always rely on a character's origin being shown from something 60 years ago,
right?
And so it's important that they can retell it in a proper way, and this is like the modern retelling that was really important, but then also added more to it as well. Because within that Doom Omnibus, it showed a bunch of his older origins and stuff.
Yeah.
But then, because obviously, you know, it highlighted the main key issues of Doom for the most part. I know there's like one big Archer issue that wasn't in there that they were like, you should have included it, but just didn't have room. But besides the point, though, it highlighted as much stuff as they could. And this was I think these were the last 6 issues collected in it. Since it's, you know, it's essential to knowing Doom's origin, modern origin, and it's big, and it's where you really get to delve into Doom's origin more so than any time before, which is important. And Brubaker had a huge task in front of him at the time, and I think he definitely pulled it off, and it's definitely something worth reading.
Yeah.
So, yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
Definitely worth a read. I would absolutely agree with that. All right. Well, let's continue on. This is one that I just read for first time fully, mostly today. And that is Doom War, which is interesting because we got to see Doctor Doom see how he infiltrated Wakanda to take over Wakanda. And it was interesting because you get to see a new take on Doom kind of taking over everything, because Doom is taking over Wakanda to get vibranium.
Yeah.
And there's this interesting element, without going too much into it, is, you know, there's this whole part of magic with Doctor Doom. And so he learns that he figures out that there's some sort of magic property with vibranium that he could do with it, and that's why he wants to use it to then power up his different armies and stuff, essentially with it, as well as himself. And so that's a very interesting thing. The story itself was good. You got to see a bunch of. There were some really good Doctor Doom moments. How many issues did you say you read of this?
I got about 2.5 issues.
Okay. So you would have gone in far enough to, for me, one of the biggest and kind of like really like Doom being really ruthless was him at the vault, making Storm open the vault, and he's there killing hostages, saying, well, every hour that you don't open the storm or this vault storm, another hostage is being killed.
Yeah, I got far enough to where Black Panther shows up in the vault.
Yeah.
And then he does something, and then the vault ends up being empty.
Yeah. Well, the whole thing is that Doom it opened up and got the stuff out before Black Panther reached him. Is the whole thing. What's interesting though, and you probably stopped during issue 3, which I think was maybe the most fascinating part of this delved into Doom's character, where it shows what is Black Panther's god there? That Panther god. Anyway, point is though, this Panther god is judging Doom because the last way to get into the vault is he has to be judged, and if anybody that has any foul intent isn't allowed in. And here, the main part of Doom's part of that issue is a backstory of while people are trying to figure out the heroes are trying to figure out what to do with Doom that stole all the stuff. You also get this flashback with Doom throughout the issue where he's talking to a god, and at the end of the day, essentially tricks him to be able in the vault. And it's really interesting because you get to see, I know it was a very interesting, fascinating conversation that you got to see Doom have with a literal god to be allowed into this vault. So, the series itself though was good. What I was going to say about it too is it was one of those series, and you probably got this vibe from reading it. Well, especially maybe from issue 2 more than 1, because 1 was a thicker issue. Is that I feel like each issue, except for maybe the first one, could have used a few extra pages here and there to help breathe out. It was a very quick paced story of it. A lot can happen within just a page or two, with how big of a scale story it is. And so, but it was still a solid story overall. But there are some great Doom moments, like I said, the vault and him being judged by the god was very fascinating, both of them. So, like I said, really interesting Doom stuff, at least in that first half. And then the second half is all about how they try to take out all the stuff. Right. But like I said, though, you get some really good Doctor Doom stuff in there, though, which is why at the end of the day, I decided to put in this story into this list. Let's see here. Let's Bear shared a couple comments I wanted to highlight. So, jokes aside, Doom is a good villain character, but I think I like Magneto more than Doom. Figure out something. We should figure out something Magneto to talk about.
We did have that discussion earlier, didn't we?
Yeah. Figure out something good X-Men to do sooner than later. Yeah. Doom saying here, showing how Doom tricking a god. Really showing how good a manipulator Doom can be. Absolutely. It just really shows, everything there. There's all this great stuff here. Same with the Storm thing. Yeah, like I said, there's some great moments in this Doom War issue. So that's why, at the end of the day, it's worth reading very much for Doom's character.
Yeah.
Because you do get some great stuff there. You know where else you also get some great Doom stuff with? And we actually talked about this story in depth earlier this year.
We did.
And that is, not to be confused with the old one, but the most recent one.
The 2015 Secret Wars.
Indeed. And what a great cover this is, too. I love this cover of Doom and Reed battling it out there. It's a great cover. See, this is one of those I need to own physically. I'm going to buy it physically sooner than later, just so I can have it physically. Like, I feel like this is one I need on my shelf. But that aside, though, this is definitely a great story. For anybody who hasn't checked out our Secret Wars episode, We were joined by a good friend, John, where we all talked about this. And that was a good time. But overall, though, it was like a big new
Did I
version.
make it on that episode?
Yeah, I think it was the three of us. Pretty sure it was.
No, I don't remember.
It's gonna be real bad luck if I say no, but I'm pretty sure you were on this one. But
I know there was one. There was something you did.
it was Absolute Flash and Absolute Martian Manhunter.
Okay, that was not what. Yeah, Secret Wars. That was back in. Oh
Like,
no, I remember that episode. I'm looking at the YouTube now. Yeah, this was.
Yeah.
I do remember that episode. Yeah, that was a good episode.
Yeah, go check it out if you haven't already. We delve into it. But just in a nutshell, though, I think this is a great updated version in a way of the older Secret Wars. This was the one story on both of our lists that we had in common. Funny enough. And don't get me wrong, while I did enjoy the older Secret Wars, I did enjoy this one more. And I don't know, just you get some really great Doom moments in it.
I don't know if I can say that I like it better than the original because I think it's probably more a nostalgia thing for me because
I could understand that.
it was I was still I was still fairly young-ish when the original came out, and I remember when it came out, and I don't know, the story about the Beyonder. The Beyonder was just crazy.
Yeah.
But no, this was I could see why you would like this one better because it is a really good story. I mean, it's Jonathan Hickman. Like,
yeah, it is Jonathan.
There isn't much out there that I've read of his where I'm like, oh, I just absolutely don't like this.
Yeah. What's at the core of it, though, this is one of those stories that shows the Emperor Doom in a very good way. Like that really highlights how great this Emperor Doom idea is. Or here, when you actually literally get like this God Emperor Doom, him in the white cloak. And one of my favorite moments is that interaction where you're saying that it's hard for you between Doom and Magneto being your favorites. For me, it's Doom and Thanos. And in this story, you get a great interaction between Doom and Thanos that I absolutely love.
Yeah.
And involves one of their spines getting ripped out. And so, rest in peace, Thanos.
I wonder who did who.
But you get a lot of great Doom stuff in this, though. And yeah, it's a really good version of it is a really good new Secret Wars. It's definitely worth a read. Definitely, everybody should read this before the new Secret Wars. Granted, that's years off, but
before the whole Doomsday Avengers Doomsday movie comes out next year, you should definitely.
This is one right there. Gotta check that one out. Gotta check it out. So, yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, like I said, just go watch your episode about Secret Wars. We talked a lot about this one. A lot of great Doom stuff on it. But this was written by Hickman, and funny enough, the last story on this list is also written by Hickman.
Yeah.
And that is a Doom one-shot. There's a couple of different more recent one-shots that came out, and I think this was definitely the bigger, memorable one between the two I was thinking about including, and here it is. That I picked it up when it came out. And it's really cool, though, because it's like the story set in the future, and you get to see Doom taking on dueling Galactus. I actually talk about stuff happening in the MCU right now. And so it's a really interesting story of just Doom versus Galactus. That was really cool, and it is one of those things of where Hickman just wrote a really good one-off story with Doom that's set in its own sort of space and time, and it is really good. Have you read this one?
I don't think I have.
It's really interesting. It's a good.
Now that you mention it, I remember you putting it on the list, and I thought I had put it on my list of stuff to read, but apparently I did not make it.
Yeah, there's some great stuff in this story. Like, you get some great art and stuff throughout this. right there.
I mean, I'll
Really cool.
yeah, I'll
So-
probably read it tonight.
You'll have to check it out. There's a lot of great art in this. I'm just looking at it like, holy shit! Like, look at this.
Oh,
Right there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a very quick read, despite it being a thicker issue. I don't know how many pages specifically, but it gives it's a pretty good story. So I would definitely recommend giving it a read, and it really shows Doom's character very well. And I remember when this was coming out, everybody was praising it because it was like, holy crap, this one-off Doctor Doom story that's new and really understands his character at its core and everything. So it's really cool. So definitely worth checking
I'm
out.
kind of looking forward to when this new Doom story ends, so that I could.
Yeah. You know what's funny? It's called One World Under Doom, right? That's what it's
Mhm.
called. What's funny is at one point in Doom War, they literally like talk about like, Doom's trying to achieve this one world under Doom or something like that,
Yeah.
which is funny because I was like, oh, it's literally like the name of it's right there. So, but yes, it is a fantastic cover, Nicole. I agree. How many gods does Doom fight? Mainly, it's just him against Galactus. I don't think he actually fights a god in this because I wouldn't call Galactus a god, but he's as close as to a god you can get without being a god, I feel like. So, like, Galactus is definitely very much godlike, I feel like.
Yeah.
He's like, you talk about tiers of goddom, and he's just below being a god, but essentially is a god. So, I guess it depends on what you classify Galactus as, but that's where I put Galactus personally. Galactus is another great character, which also what really makes this work. It's really good. See, me just opening that up and showing a couple pages there kind of made me want to go back and reread this. So maybe that's something I'll do. So yeah, definitely worth checking out all this stuff. There's a bunch of good Doctor Doom stories. I was trying to think if I had anything else to say, but I don't know if I do. I mean, I know there's definitely some other really good Doctor Doom stories out there. There's definitely some older ones that I was wanting to reread, but I just didn't get around to because I was kind of focused on. Doom War was a story I've been wanting to read for a while. I just never got around to it. So with us doing this episode, I was like, you know what? Use my excuse to finally get into reading Doom War. So
There you go.
yeah, but there's a bunch of great Doctor Doom stuff. Go check it out, everybody. Maybe we'll talk about. I mean, we could always revisit any of these stories that's not Secret Wars, because both of the Secret Wars have already been talked about on this channel. So, but any of the other Doctor Doom stuff, we could always go back and talk about sometime.
Yeah.
As there's, Doom's such a great villain. So, but yeah, there are lots of great Doctor Doom stuff. One of the ones, you know what? I'm just gonna give a quick honorable mention because I mentioned earlier that this was one of two one-shots I thought about including. The other one that, while I enjoyed it, and I wouldn't say it's as good, but I definitely enjoyed it, that I think you'd have fun with, is a Doctor Doom and Rocket Raccoon team up. Just read it is all I'm gonna say. It sounds very interesting. Just read it, and I enjoyed that story a good bit. So, and it's probably a Marvel Unlimited as well. So, go check it out. So, but anyway, lots of Doctor Doom stuff. Let us know down in the comments below. I think I said comment. Anyway, let us know what is your favorite Doctor Doom story, as there's lots of great Doctor Doom stories out there. And there's still big Doctor Doom stories coming out, such as One World Under Doom. Maybe that'll be one we'll eventually touch on. But I know that's one we're both waiting on, so we'll see. But yeah, thank you all, everybody, so much for coming by. What is up with Rebel Nerd Radio?
We are on hiatus this week to prepare ourselves for Rebel ScumCon.
Ooh. Yeah, see, I wasn't sure if you all were going to be doing something this week or not to prepare for it. So, but understandably so, preparing for it. We'll definitely have to touch base and see what's going on, what you're doing there. But yeah, that'll be a fun time. Yes, Bear. Doctor Doom teams up with Rocket Raccoon. It's a fun story. I gotta say, Let me see if I can find it here really quick and share it. This is a fun story. Let me. Yeah, it came out in January, so it's definitely on Marvel Unlimited. I couldn't remember how old of a story it is. Here you go. That's it there. Doctor Doom and Rocket Raccoon together. It's on Marvel Unlimited, which you can subscribe to for like, how much is it? $7 a month, something like that.
Yeah, I don't remember.
But definitely check it out. You see them together here, so this is a fun one shot. So give it a read. At least I think it's worth a read. Or read it and tell me that I'm absolutely wrong. But
you are out of the gourd.
I'm terrible. But anyway, thank you all, everybody, so much for coming by and hanging out. Great to see. Let's see, everybody was here. Bear, Nicole, Matthew, Steve number 2, MSK. I think that was everybody. Thank you all so much for coming by, hanging out. Appreciate any lurkers that may have been around as well. And everybody that watches on the replay, thank you all so much for checking out this brand new episode of the Comic Den. We're taking a week off, and then we haven't thought about it at all what we're going to be doing afterwards, so we'll figure it out. Probably something not Marvel. We've done 3 Marvel episodes in a row, so we should figure out something else to do than Marvel for when we come back. But thank you all so much. Great having you all hang out with us. Very much appreciate it. If you're not already subscribed to Rebel Nerd Radio, go check out Rebel Nerd Radio. Have a great night, everybody. Great evening, wherever in the world you are. Laters, everybody. Bye.